Welcome back, Focus Learners. August 2026 is really shaping up to be an absolutely pivotal month in tech. We're witnessing a massive, fundamental shift right now. We're finally moving away from those passive chatbots that just kind of sit there waiting for our questions, and we're entering a whole new era of proactive AI systems that are actually stepping out of the browser to take real, tangible action on our behalf. So let's unpack exactly what this means. All right, so here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll look at the agentic AI era. Second, Google's AI delivery vehicle. Third, how chatbots become proactive coworkers. Fourth, we'll see how DeepSeek heats up the race. And finally, setting new AI guardrails. Section 1, the agentic AI era, from talking to doing. Okay, let's dive right into this, because the days of simply typing a prompt and just waiting for a giant paragraph of text, well, they're officially behind us. Understanding the specific term, agentic AI, is absolutely crucial for grasping this whole shift. We're talking about AI systems that are specifically designed to proactively execute tasks, control your software, and make decisions on your behalf, rather than just spitting back conversational responses. So think less digital encyclopedia and a lot more executive assistant, one that can actually navigate a website and book a flight for you. Moving on to Section 2, Google's AI delivery vehicle, the Pixel 11 and Gemini. So Google's recent Made by Google 26 hardware event literally just took agentic AI right out of the lab and put it straight into consumers' pockets. Leading the pack, we've got the Pixel 11 starting at $899, which is completely powered by their new Tensor G6 chip, built on TSMC's 2nm process, by the way, and featuring a new highlight LED. They also announced the Pixel Watch 5 for $399 and dropped the Pixel Tag, which is Google's very first Bluetooth ultra-wideband tracker. And all of these devices start shipping on August 20th. But here's what's truly fascinating. Look at how the tech press is analyzing this event. They're noting that the Pixel 11 launch is, quote, less a hardware story than an AI platform story. And honestly, they hit the nail on the head here. This phone is essentially a Trojan horse. It's a brilliantly designed delivery vehicle that's specifically engineered to get the Gemini AI agent directly integrated into your daily routine. And this translates into real, tangible actions running natively on your device. Gemini can now book your rides, order your groceries, and even make phone calls completely on your behalf. Plus, the accessibility updates are just a massive leap. Using the Pixel camera, Gemini now provides real-time American Sign Language to text translation. That's huge. And there's this really cool new feature called Rambler that actively strips out your filler words, the ums and ahs, before it even converts your speech to text. Basically, it's working constantly behind the scenes to execute your intentions instantly. All right, Section 3. Chatbots become proactive coworkers. Claude versus ChatGPT. It's not just our phones making these massive leaps. The two biggest chatbot rivals out there are actively shifting from being simple browser tabs to fully integrated digital partners. And this brilliantly illustrates two very, very contrasting philosophies. On one side, Anthropic is leaning heavily into an enterprise focus. They're upgrading their Chrome side panel into a continuous co-work session that syncs across all your devices, launching a Claude for Government beta for direct agency onboarding, and pushing updates to Claude Code to actually fix complex Windows, Git, and redraw failures. Meanwhile, over at OpenAI, they are incredibly focused on lifestyle. ChatGPT is now directly booking your restaurant reservations via OpenTable, Resy, and Yelp right there in the chat. They're launching a sign-in with ChatGPT beta for quick connections to apps like Airtable, GitLab, and Notion, and they're rolling out K-12 and college education plugins. Of course, to support that massive consumer lifestyle push, OpenAI has to pay for it somehow, right? So, following their US pilot back in January, OpenAI is now expanding ChatGPT advertising globally. Ads are officially live in the United Kingdom, Mexico, Brazil, Japan, and South Korea. If ChatGPT is going to be your free daily lifestyle agent, well, commercial integrations are the trade-off. Next up, Section 4. DeepSeek heats up the race, China's AI push. Because, the West isn't operating in a vacuum here. Right now, on the ground in Beijing, DeepSeek has officially launched a harness team via WeChat, and they are aggressively hiring developers. Their specific goal? To build agentic coding tools that directly rival Anthropic's Claude Code. So they aren't just releasing underlying foundational models anymore. They are actively recruiting top-tier talent to build functional, direct competitors to Western software. But the real shockwave coming from DeepSeek right now is the price tag. 14 cents. No way, right? But yes, that is the remarkably low cost per million tokens for DeepSeek's new V4 Flash model, which has officially just exited its preview phase. And if you're sitting there thinking a 14-cent model can't possibly be that powerful, well, it just scored an absolutely wild 82.7% on the terminal bench evaluation. The crucial takeaway here is that this incredibly cheap, super fast model actually beats DeepSeek's own larger, far more expensive V4 Pro model on agentic coding tasks. So high capability combined with rock-bottom pricing, yeah, that is rapidly heating up the global race. Finally, Section 5. Setting new AI guardrails. Regulation catches up. With all these capabilities accelerating at just breakneck speed, governments are actively scrambling to establish compliance requirements for these proactive agents. Looking at the U.S., Colorado's Chatbot Safety Act now demands baseline safety standards and implements specific protections aimed directly at shielding minors under 18. Meanwhile, over in Europe, the EU has fully activated the transparency rules of the EU AI Act. That means mandatory AI-generated content labeling, strict chatbot disclosure right at the point of interaction, and granting the EU Commission full enforcement powers. And what's really striking here is just how rapidly this regulatory net is tightening, right at the exact same time this consumer tech is hitting the market. On August 12, 2026, the EU AI Act's transparency rules became fully active. Literally just 8 days later, on August 20th, Google's agentic hardware begins shipping to consumers. And shortly after that, on January 1st, 2027, the Colorado Chatbot Safety Act officially takes effect. We are literally watching innovation and regulation collide in real time. Which really leaves us with a pretty provocative question to consider. With AI now actively making decisions across our devices, our browsers, and our governments, who is ultimately responsible for the actions it takes? I mean, if an agentic system makes a mistake, booking a reservation, writing a piece of code, or filing a legal document, does that liability fall on you, the user, the hardware maker, or the AI developer? It's a completely fascinating, incredibly complex new era. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.